Holy Gospel. The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus passed through towns and villages, teaching as he went and making his way to Jerusalem. Someone asked him, Lord, will only a few people be saved? He answered them, strive to enter through the narrow gate, for many, I will tell you, will attempt to enter, but will not be strong enough. After the master of the house has arisen and locked the door, then will you stand outside knocking and saying, Lord, open the door for us. He will say to you in reply, I do not know where you are from. And you will say, we ate and drank in your company, and you taught us in our streets. Then he will say to you, but I do not know where you are from. Depart from me, all you evildoers. And there will be wailing and grinding of teeth when you see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourself cast out. And people will come from the east and the west, and from the north and the south, and will recline at the table in the kingdom of God. For behold, some are last who will be first, and some are first who will be last. My brothers and sisters, the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Now you may be seated, and I will sit with you. Today is a very special day for our community because today is the first day that Samuel, I remember. It's the first day that Samuel has come to church. And so we're here to receive him and to welcome him. And we're going to do something that Samuel's sure to enjoy. We're going to pour all kinds of water over him after the home. Now, before I go on with the baptism, we have a guest homilist this morning, and I want you to pay very close attention. More than 18 years ago, a woman walked into our church here at St. Matthew's, and I went up to greet her, and she never left. She kept coming every Sunday. Can you imagine that? And so I asked her why she comes all the time to our church, because she's not a Catholic. She's a Protestant. And she says, when I asked her, so why do you come into our church? There's lots of Protestant churches all around us you could go to. And she said to me, because you welcomed me. Isn't that wonderful? Because we are a welcome, hospitable church. That's what we have become, and that's what we were when she came in. And that's why she's never left. Well, I've come to learn that she knew how to preach. And she's very good. She's better than me. So I got quite worried. So anyway, I want you to give a warm welcome to our guest homilist this morning. Her name is Victoria Anderson.
Too big a build-up, thank you. And I'm happy to be here because I just love Samuel so much, but a special day. All right, I know it's your special day, so I'm going to be very, very quick. All right, I'm sure you don't like that. So here we go. You know, I love weddings. I like to crash them. I love weddings. They're so fun to me. Everybody's happy, joyful. I like the kind of dorky music, and you're going to do that line, that conga line. I love wedding cake. I love champagne. One time I did. I really did crash one. And I was so happy that no one came up to me and said, "Who are you?" I'm the bride. No one said that to me. And it reminded me of our readings today. I work for a large school district, and every year at the beginning of the year, we have a convocation. It's a big word where everybody gets together and the district tells us what we're going to do for the year. It gives us a little rah-rah. And I've been with the district for 29 years. I know, you thought it was 35, huh? Yes, well, anyway. And during that time, I've been to a couple different schools, 3 different schools. And so it's always nice at the beginning that I meet people and they'll say, "Hey, hi." And I'll say, "Hi, how are you? How you doing?" "Hello, hey, I remember your face. Yeah, hi." But do I really know those people? No. I know them to say hello. But I do not know their hopes and dreams and fears and what keeps them up late at night. I don't know what brings them joy because I do not know them. Philosophers say there's knowledge by description and knowledge by acquaintance. For example, knowledge by description is, I know Moscow. I've never been there, but I know it because I watch Dr. Zhivago and I watch spy movies and I look at pictures. Okay, that's Moscow. But I know Pawleys Island, South Carolina, by acquaintance. I know when a thunderstorm is going to come rolling in on a hot July evening. I know Polly's bookstore because I visit it, and I know where they keep the fiction and the new arrivals, and I know what they're going to keep in the back. I know what it smells like. And I know what key lime pie from the bakery, the name escapes me, but I know what that tastes like. I know Pawleys Island by acquaintance. And so, knowing Jesus, actually, knowing by acquaintance, you have to have some description in it, but knowing by acquaintance is interactive. It's experiential. There's interplay, right? That's how I know Pawleys Island. And I think knowing Jesus or knowing God is the same thing. I can describe Jesus because I've been to church or I know the 10 Commandments or whatever. But actually knowing him by acquaintance under that definition I just gave you would mean it's interactive, that it's experiential, that I experience him, and I experience his power and his grace and his forgiveness in my everyday life. So how do you really know Jesus? I think that you have to say yes. You have to choose that. You have to be intentional. I think you have to say, I'm going to go through that narrow door. I'm not going to be on the wide, go on the wide. I'm going to go in the narrow. And I'm going to follow him. I'm going to be a follower. You see, I think there's a lot of difference between people who admire Jesus and who follow him. Let's be real. Who doesn't admire Jesus? Who's going to say, I don't really admire him? He taught love. He healed the sick. You know, Jesus, you're like, yeah, you can admire him. But there's a difference between that and following him. So I think followers say, yeah, I'm going to go through the narrow door. And the thing is, when you choose the narrow door, it's small, it's narrow, you can't get through with all your stuff. You have to put your anger and your hatred and your unforgiveness and your insecurity. You have to put what I want, my way, my will, you have to leave it. You can't get it through the door. It won't fit. It's a narrow door. You just have to say, okay, I'm going to follow and say yes and leave everything behind. So, I would like to end this by reading something to you. Who said that when you're going to choose the narrow door to follow Jesus, that you have to walk through it? What if you rode a bike? The road of life. At first I saw God as my observer, my judge, keeping track of the things I did wrong, so as to know whether I merited heaven or hell when I die. He was the one out there, sort of like a president. I recognized his picture when I saw it, but I didn't really know him. But later on, when I met Jesus, it seemed as though life were rather like a bike ride, but it was a tandem bike. And I noticed that Jesus was in the back helping me pedal. I don't know just when it was that he suggested we change places, but life has not been the same since. When I had control, I knew the way. It was rather boring, but predictable. It was the shortest distance between 2 points. But when he took the lead, he knew delightful long cuts, up mountains, and through rocky places at breakneck speeds. It was all I could do to hang on. And even though it looked like madness, he said, "Pedal!" I worried and was anxious and asked, "Where are you taking me?" And he laughed and didn't answer. And I started to learn to trust. I forgot my boring life and entered into the adventure. And when I'd say, "I'm scared," he'd lean back and touch my hand. And he took me to people with gifts that I needed, gifts of healing, acceptance, and joy. They gave me gifts to take on my journey, my Lord's and mine. And we were off again, and he'd say, "Give the gifts away, they're extra baggage, too much weight." And so I did, to the people we met. And I found that in giving, I received, and still, our burden was light. I did not trust him at first in control of my life. I thought he'd wreck it. But he knows bike secrets, knows how to make it bend to take sharp corners, knows how to jump to clear high rocks, knows how to fly to short and scary passages. And I am learning to shut up and pedal in the strangest places, and I'm beginning to enjoy the view with a cool breeze on my face, with my delightful constant companion, Jesus Christ. And when I'm sure I just can't do any more, he just smiles and says, "Pedal." And so, my dear Samuel and everybody else, I hope you choose the narrow door. And Samuel, I hope you get a bike.